morning, everybody, or afternoon or evening, whenever you're watching this video. I'm going to show you how to make a really cute circle skirt for dolls primarily. You could apply these same principles to a skirt for an adult or for a child. And I do have other videos on my channel that will show you how to do that. So it's real simple to do. Now, in this video, I already have the pattern cut out, but you can really cut for yourself a simple pattern using a dinner plate or anything round, or just kind of copy from a doll skirt that you already have. Oh, and I'm also going to show you how to make the trim for these skirts. And in this video, I use a lot of different fabrics, so you can kind of see the ones that are reversible or aren't reversible. So I promise you it's real simple and easy. And there are some other videos on my channel which show you a little bit more about making circle skirts. Thanks! Load your pattern pieces to your computer. You need to print them out. There's actually two 8.5 by 11 pages that comprise the total of this pattern for the skirt for your doll. So you need to print both pages, and then you're going to cut them out and tape them together, and I'll show you how to do that. Let me see anything else about this. Okay, just on your printer, if you go to File, Print. Okay, depending on what your printer is, you just need to go ahead and print it as is. You could print, well, don't print it two-sided. Print it black and white for, save yourself some ink. Let me go to details, and you just want to go ahead and click scale. So take up your whole paper, or just like leave it at 100% and you'll be fine. Because it's a skirt for a doll, you have a little leeway in how it gets printed, so it's not going to affect the final product, and I'll show you that in a quick second. Okay, so once you have downloaded your two pattern pieces, they'll look something like this. Okay, once you've downloaded your two pattern pieces, they're going to look something like this. And they probably look like, oh my gosh, that's way too big, or that's not going to work. But it will, trust me. Just go ahead and cut it out along the solid line. So just cut that right out. Doesn't matter which piece you cut out first, but just do the best you can and go ahead and cut it out. Okay, so oops, sorry about that. You've got the other piece, because they don't fit on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and just go ahead and cut that out as well. So just gonna cut that out, because you're gonna tape these two pieces together, and you'll see it'll be a perfect fit. So you've got your two pieces. So you want to line up the top part of this piece to the bottom. So sometimes you just got to swing it out a little bit, and that's exactly where it should go. Take some tape, Scotch tape or a glue stick, whatever works for you. Just tape it down. Okay, and you're probably saying, oh, but it's not lining up. Well, it will, because you're just gonna cut off this little piece right here, cut off this other piece, and trim it a little bit right here. Okay, so that's it. Just cut it out to the best of your ability, and you'll see it will come out perfect. And here's a piece of fabric that I had cut previously. So if you notice, this piece of fabric is the exact size as the pattern. So you need to cut two pieces, okay? And then you're gonna stitch them together. because this side is obviously, I've already stitched it on one side. So now I need to go back and stitch to the other side. But at this point, you need to decide, are you going to use, what are you going to close up the back part of the skirt with? Are you going to use, for example, and let me just take her off of the doll stand. Oops. Okay, so are you going to use elastic for the waistband? And you can do elastic, or I have to edit this part out. Or are you going to use Velcro? You can use a Velcro strip, or you can use the you can use a thin piece of elastic, and that will fit your doll. If you're going to use elastic, then you need to measure the doll's waist, and you can do that real easy. You can use a measuring tape, or just take a thin piece of elastic, measure it all the way around your doll, and let's see, let me get it to line up here on the front for you. Okay, so we've got our piece of elastic, and it goes to right there. So technically we need that much elastic, and you see how it's going to stretch. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut a small piece of elastic. Now, when we go over to the sewing machine, you basically want to attach your elastic to the skirt. Now, if you're attaching, you can attach the elastic directly to the skirt because this is a doll skirt, or you can fold it down and make a little casing and then slip your elastic through like we do for other skirts. But the challenge with that is it's going to make the skirt a little bit shorter. So if you just slowly but surely attach it to here, then it'll be the right size. And of course you have to stitch up on the back side. And let me show you that. I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and show you how to do that if you're going to use elastic. So once you have your pattern piece cut out, you'll need 2 pieces of fabric, and I have already gone, I've always got extra fabric. So I'm just going to lay this down on the piece of fabric. And of course you always want to maximize your scraps and additional fabric, but go ahead and just pin it down. Careful not to stick yourself. And you're just pinning it down so that when you get ready to cut it out, it won't slide around so much. Then once you have these 2 pieces, ow, see, stuck myself, pinned. Oops, and yeah, I'll put one more pin on here. And this is just a piece of cardboard on top of a table, this brown piece here, so keeps me from damaging the tabletop. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out, cut out our 2 pieces, and you can just take your time. I hate cutting curves, but sometimes you gotta do it. Okay, so we got that all cut out, and get this piece cut out. And I know I'm not being real exacting in my cutting, and you can and you should, but remember, we're also most likely going to put a trim on this. So once you've got your pattern piece all cut out, you're just going to take your pins out, and now just take these 2 pieces. Did I cut that right? Yeah, take these 2 pieces over to the sewing machine, and you want to go ahead and stitch these 2 edges together. And I don't know, okay, you're going to stick these 2 edges together. So I'm going to lay that right there. And this comes from, as you can see, this is a little more, and it's just because I did not cut neatly. Boo. Okay, but it'll be just fine. You'll see, because we'll trim all that up. So you're going to go ahead and stitch this edge together so you have one piece. Then you need to decide and look at some of the other segments of this video, because once you get it stitched together, you've got to decide, do you want what are you going to put in for the waistband? Are you going to use elastic, or are you going to use Velcro? So at this point, that is kind of your determining factor. But definitely, you got to stitch this side together, and then you're going to decide if you're going to close this piece up as well. So hope that makes sense. If not, send me a comment. Okay, so you can see what I did is I'm just stitching the elastic all along the edge of the top of the skirt. It's real easy to do. Okay. Oh, okay. So I stitched the elastic at one end. I just stitched all the way across and just stitch right along the top edge. Okay. Didn't need quite that much, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Now I'm going to stitch up these two sides and be right back. So I want you to be able to see, reason why I use two different colors of fabrics, I want you to be able to see that you do have to cut two pieces of it. Okay, so we've got our elastic on the inside of the skirt, and we stitched along this one edge, and now you can just turn it over. Easy peasy little skirt. So now we're just going to slip it onto our doll. And let me back up a little bit. Ooh, okay. So now you've made a really cute little doll skirt. So easy. So now you can see you've got a very cute skirt for your doll. Okay, yeah, now you can see you got a very cute skirt for your doll. If you want, you can actually swing it around, because I used two different fabrics, so it would look like she's actually got another skirt on. So now you're all done with your doll skirt. So it looks really cute that way, and or if you turn it around, you got a totally different colored skirt. See, you could just rotate it if you do it like that. So the one thing I love about this pattern, it opens up all sorts of possibilities for you making a very simple, easy doll skirt. Really cute, right? So why don't you go ahead and give it a try. It's something you can do in an afternoon. If you don't have a sewing machine, you could stitch this with just a needle and thread, and it'll be fine. So once again, thanks for watching. And here's what it would look like on a trim on a finished skirt. So I just used some seam binding and attached to the edge of the skirt. So that makes it look really professionally done. So like I said, just take your skirt once you've got your outer layer and your inner layer combined, because what you're going to want to do, oh yeah, I'm sorry, totally forgot. When you have your reversible layers attached, what I like to do is go ahead and stitch all the way around before I attach my seam binding, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute, so that way it's all nice and neat. Or if you prefer, you can just go ahead and I'm going to fold it again. I think makes it a little easier, especially when you're cutting a whole lot of fabric. And I'm just going to trim all this excess off, so the skirt will be nice and even when I get ready to put a hem on it. So I'm just going to, and you don't have to worry about being too exacto perfect at this point, because whatever ruffle or edging you're going to put on there will even it up all the way around. So you just get all that excess off. Okay, and a little bit more here. And I'm just eyeballing this so I can see that the circle is very round as I want it to be. Okay, so open up, and now you see that's a much cleaner look. Right here, I'm going to have to take a look at and see. It may just be that the fabric's pulling a little bit, which is fine. So, there you go. Yes, I'm going to show you how to finish the edge of a skirt. Okay, hands down, this is my favorite fabric for a skirt, for a circle skirt, for a little girl. But one of the things I had to do was to even up these edges, even though this is not going to be reversible, because I'm going to put a binding, how I'm going to finish it up, these two ends need to be even, matching with each other. So let me go ahead and stitch it together and show you what I mean. So now you can see the finished skirt. This is what the edge, the hem looks like using the seam binding. And here's where you kind of close it off. I just kind of cut one at an angle and attach it, and then I will stitch that down a little bit more. So you have a really cute, sweet little skirt, and it looks great. Oh, and just so you'll know, on the inside, because this is not reversible, you will see some of the stitches. So, and there you have it, your cute little skirt with a very nice edge, and it's all ready to go, to wear, to play, dress up in. You're good to go. And if for some reason, as part of your circle skirt, if you have, as you can see here, hopefully I can show you this. Okay. Where, because this one's reversible, it just seems like a little bit, I guess maybe when I put it together, it ended up being a little bit over. So you're just going to trim this part there. You just want to trim that off so that it's even all the way around. So when you attach your hem, your bias binding, it'll look perfect. One of the things that I like to do is make a running stitch all around the edge of the circle skirt, especially if it's one that's not going to be reversible. But it also helps when you're putting the bias tape, the edging on the side, that it keeps both pieces flush and together. And I would say make sure you use coordinating thread that matches your fabric, just in case some of it kind of peeps out. This is the inside of the circle skirt, and this is where, when you're just using two panels attached together. So you have two halves of a skirt, and then you just want to go ahead and attach them together for one full circle skirt. Hey everybody. Okay, today what you all have been waiting for, actually for the past couple of couple of years, is how to finish the circle skirt. Yay! I know, I'm so silly. Okay, here's what two of them look like finished, and I actually, these are new. I just recently did these. I'm not even going to try to let you think that these are the ones from a couple of years ago. But I'm going to show you exactly how to do the edge, the trim, and this one's black, so it's a little hard to see. So that you can make these beautiful, awesome, professionally, and once again, this skirt, this is reversible, that one. This is not reversible, but I'm going to show you how to put that edge on there so that it looks really, really great. And no one will know that you made it, or hey, you might really want people to know, yes, of course, you made it. Most important sewing features and tools, if you're going to do edging and you want it to be really, really neat, is this little foot bias binding foot, is what I think they call it. And I'll put a link on my website as to where you can get these. I got mine online on Amazon, and it was a really good price, and it works really well. if you're going to do, like I said, if you're going to do any type of edging, you really need this device. So I'm just going to take mine and go ahead and attach it to the sewing machine. So now you have your presser foot attached, and I can honestly say it's going to take a little bit of trial and error, so I'd say practice with some scrap fabric and before you get started, so you don't have to pull out stitches. With this particular attachment on your sewing machine for your bias binding, I got the adjustable one. So what you want to do is you just open up the bias binding, and this is the double fold bias binding, and you're just going to slide it into the little slot there. It might be kind of hard to see, but there, see, it's all ready to go in there. And you adjust it here. You might have to open it up all the way and then just slide your bias binding ribbon in just nice and gently. Once you've kind of got it started, just go ahead and push that in there. Then take your fabric, and you're just where you want to start, you want to sandwich it right in between that little strip. Now, there are probably some much better videos on YouTube on how to do this, but I am showing you my way of doing it, and you'll see it's really, really simple. So you're just going to slide your fabric in there. Make sure it goes in all the way. Open that bias so that the fabric will sandwich right in between there. And then just lower your presser foot and start sewing. Go slow at first. Well, probably want to go slow all the way through so you don't have to come back and redo this part again. So let me go ahead and finish this, and then I'll show you what the finished result looks like. But that's pretty much how you get started on putting the edge on your circle skirt with the bias binding. What's also really important when you're using this little device is don't force it. You've got to let this just flow real nice and naturally. Now from this angle you can see how it's almost exactly even from where the fabric is attached to the other end. You can see right here, you can see this is the edge of the fabric and this is the edge of the bias binding. So it's getting it right down the middle, so that means it's catching the fabric on the inside and the outside, so you have a nice, even, really professional looking seam. And ta-da! Here you go. Now you can see you have the edge of your circle skirt. It looks really nice, neat, smooth, and professional, and you are good to go. All nice and ready to go. Now remember, this particular circle skirt, this is not reversible when you buy it on my fabric unless you're using twice as much of the fabric that you would have to order. But this is, once again, this is just on a single skirt that's not reversible. Not reversible. So, and that's all there is to it. So you can see it looks really nice. It looks really beautiful. It's a very nice professional looking edging that's easy to do. And remember that bias binding foot that I showed you how to use. You know, get the right one for your machine and you will be fine. So that's all there is to it. That's the edge, what everybody's asked for, how to finish up your circle skirt. Sorry it's taken me so long to get back to you, but there you go. Thanks for watching. Bye.